The streets beat MAGA, big trust.
Woo woo.
Also, Alabama is gonna make the playoffs for the first time ever. And I just wanna say this, where Alabama gonna take their cousins to date night now? And one more last thing. Hey, James Harden is the better scorer than Michael Jordan. Let's get it.
I've seen enough.
And listen, I wanna say this. We got LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, and RJ in the #1 pick coming up later in the show, so stick around. Let's get it.
What's up, man? How you doing, my G?
I'm feeling good, feeling great, baby. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was cool, ate a lot.
You feel me? I played a little football. My knee is doing the Jalen Smith right now.
Real washed up hours right now?
A little bit of nerve damage, but yeah, let's get into it. Hey, Lamar beat the MAGA streets.
Wow.
How you feel about it?
It's crazy. I mean, I just want to say shout out both teams, the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens, because as for we know it was game of the week, and it did not disappoint. You know, the Ravens pulled it out 20-17, and I just want to say, for the Niners, although they took the L, it wasn't a bad loss for them because they played hard. Honestly,
it was a bad loss.
No, it was a penalty. A penalty at the end decided the game, but as far as if you're a 49ers fan, you had nothing to hang your hat on. That's all I got to say.
But I'm saying, like, Rios is saying it like it's college football where they like look at your strength of schedule and they do No, it's about wins and losses. And when you have when you try to lock in the #1 spot and you see Seattle Seahawks right behind you in the rearview mirror, you have to win games. Yeah, it's critical. So I mean, that is a bad loss, no matter how hard they play.
Right. But I'm saying, like, in terms of like performance-wise for the playoffs, I mean, like, they're gonna be a tough out. That's all I was trying to say.
And I keep saying MAGA. The reason I'm saying MAGA, we're talking about Nick Bosa.
No.
Because he had some tweets a long time ago expressing his love for the American country and Donald Trump and all those types of things. So that's why we call it MAGA versus street. Because, you know, big trust.
And speaking of big trust,
okay,
our favorite opera singer, one of the greatest kickers of all time, he's part of the gang too. So what's up? What's up, JT? How you doing, G?
I feel like in the spirit of my teammates who've been up here to talk to you guys the last few weeks, I should say something like real inspiring, like big trust. And I'll open it up for questions.
Hey, doing things Billy Cundiff couldn't.
Woo, woo.
Hey, man, so let's talk about a game that was particularly interesting because you had a NFC East team and, you know, because Dallas just lost, so you'd be like, all right, maybe Philly's gonna pick it up.
Right.
But no, you got your boys, the Miami Dolphins out here playing real hard, and they caught another L and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
The NFC East is trash.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe this.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go birds, fly, Eagles, fly.
NFC East is probably the most beautiful shit show, but this year is just a complete shit show because honestly, there's no good teams in that division at all. So the fact that the Eagles lost to the Dolphins and, like, you know, the Bills beating the Cowboys just shows how trash the division is.
It's just interesting because they're using plays that they should wait to use when it actually matters.
Oh, it's about the Dolphins?
Now they're just wasting game film. Now they can see it next year when you guys are gonna actually be good.
I want to say this though about the Dolphins. Although the Dolphins have been disgusting to watch all year, they traded all their players. Their special teams play as a whole has been pretty cool. I mean, they got some kick return touchdowns, some punt return touchdowns, and they got the fake punt.
I just want to say this though: if you're an owner and you're creating a franchise, why would you name your team the Dolphins? like that wasn't scary anybody.
Call up Wayne Isaac and be like, yo, change the name. Well, if you were to change the name to for the Dolphins, what would it be?
The Sharks? That'd be fire.
Shark do baby shark.
Oh my God. No, that beginning of that shit. That sounds like some trap beat.
Bro, yo.
Damn it. That shit hard.
Anyway. Uzi, we need a Baby Shark remix freestyle, man. Please.
Hey, all right, so the cousins dating state went at each other.
Oh, so you're talking about the Iron Bowl, right?
Yeah. All right, so Auburn beats Bama. What we got, man?
I just want to say shout out Auburn because they did what they weren't supposed to do, and that's beat Alabama, which they haven't done in the last couple years. I mean, just because of the whole talent base of, you know, the Crimson Tide and what Nick Saban does and stuff
And
like
Alabama, for the first time in the new playoff system, Alabama will not be a part of it. And that's crazy because Alabama is Alabama. We know what they do. They go to the hood and they offer the kids $100K. So
and a Dodge Charger. Can't forget about the Dodge Charger.
And they get all the 5-star recruits. So that's why I was like, when LSU beat Alabama, Nick Saban is going to the hood with a bag.
or I feel like LSU just handing out Camaros now.
That's true. But anyway, long story short, Alabama's not gonna be able to cue up that Pikachu. Hey man, but listen man, this is gonna be interesting to see now, but I feel like you got Ohio State, you got LSU, you got Clemson
and you got Georgia.
And I actually,
one team's gonna cancel. One team's gonna cancel stuff out. I mean, you got the LSU and you got Georgia in the SEC championship game. So that game is a big deciding factor. In
so what if Georgia loses? Then what happens? Who gets in?
Ooh, that's tough. Oklahoma has a case if they win their championship.
If they could lose to Baylor, what if Baylor loses and then Georgia loses? What happens then? Minnesota's in.
Maybe.
Hey, turn that up. Because Minnesota would lose, but they would only have one loss, right? And that would be to Ohio State. So how could you not put them in? Because that means Georgia would have 2 losses, and then Oklahoma will have 2 losses too. So I mean, Minnesota should be in there with 1 loss. That's just my point. Anyway, let's get to it. That's that real music.
Not really.
This is our segment when we talk about real music, but like he said, not really, because this isn't real music. Let's discuss this Fab tape. Now, Fabulous has been a legend in the rap community for a long time. Let's be honest. But we have to be real here. After Soul Tape 2, Fab has not been good.
Honestly, after Ray J made that call to
the
famous radio station called The Breakfast Club and, you know what I'm saying, put fear in that man's heart, Fab hasn't been the same since.
Anyway, we over here with the money team. But anyway,
hey, I got the homies who know homies who know homies who also know homies, and y'all know the rest.
But anyway, long story short, this Fab tape is not good. And you had some people acting like it was good, and then Fab was coming up with the lines like, yeah, I'm the American Sniper, call me Fably Cooper.
What?
Come on, my guy. And then he was like, once I F you, once it's F you, I'm horny forever. What is going on?
Like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, a 2-pack of ass. Right?
Yeah, but it's not really good. I just think, I love Fab, and I think here's the problem is, as a Fab fan and as somebody as a fan of an artist, I feel like we should be honest. And I feel like when your favorite rapper is not making good music, please tell them they're not making good music, because Fab is 40-something trying to make 20-something.
You 36!
You can't relate to it anymore, but shout out Fab, man. Make better music.
Yeah, and also dress better too. Stop having your wife dressing.
Hey, relax. All right, take it away.
Oh, let's talk about the greatest scorer of all time. I'm gonna just say, James Harden has been putting up these ridiculous stat numbers this whole season. Okay, he put up 60 points this weekend. All right, and he was also, I believe, 2 points of his career high. And D'Antoni took him out for that. It was meaningless. You know, they were blowing him out. But I want to make this point about James Harden about this season. He has more points than he has minutes played. Like, that's honestly ridiculous. I don't think personally I've ever seen anything like that in terms of like players. Like, think about the dynamic players we've ever seen in our lifetime, like Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, who else? Even like Kevin Durant. Like, they've never done that. And the fact that James Harden has done that so far this season, almost a third into the season, by the way, it's kind of remarkable. And I don't want him to get lost in the MVP race, because it's kind of like voter fatigue. Like, you vote for the same guys all the time. So like, that's why LeBron's MVP every year, but they're not gonna give it to him because it's called vote.
All right, make the point here. What's the point?
The point is this: James Harden, honestly, the greatest scorer of all time. It's it.
Yeah, maybe regular season, but it has to matter. And like, my thing is like this. This is when I say this. When James Harden gets to the playoffs, or even Westbrook, his efficiency decreases. like his productivity decreases. So like that's a problem for me. You can't say somebody because usually when you have those guys like LeBron or even Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, like their efficiency, or not even efficiency,
their level of play
goes up and theirs decreases. So I feel like you can't say that about James Harden because he doesn't get those same bullshit fouls that he gets in the regular season.
Right.
Like even if you look at LeBron had that one game where he scored 51 points. Now they lost that game against Golden State Warriors, but you can't blame LeBron James in that situation. Now if James Harden goes out and scores 60 and they still lose, then you can't really blame James Harden. But at the same time, James Harden is not putting up those numbers, so that's why you can't really say that because he hasn't really done anything.
But James Harden in playoff numbers in total, he's averaging almost close to 25 points a game in the playoffs.
Which is solid.
Which is solid, but also too, I mean,
scorer ever if he can't really do anything.
But there's some semantics that go onto it too. There's other storylines in it too. I mean, we know about that game 6 where that game 7 where they missed 27 straight 3-pointers, the Rockets. So you can't put the onus all that on James Harden. I just think it's the system, number one, with D'Antoni, because we know what it is. It's a one-trick pony. We already know how they get down. But I just think also too, I think maybe what they should do, what the Rockets should do, they should kind of load manage James Harden towards the middle and towards the end of the season when you have kind of that playoff seeding racked up so you have him fresh and ready to go for the playoffs. And maybe it's a different narrative.
James Harden is the greatest scorer ever. You get it. But at the end of the day, so what we got next? We got the climb. What's the climb, my brother?
This is where I will be talking about the race for the #1 overall pick in this coming NBA draft. And we have Anthony Edwards 1, LaMelo Ball 2, James Wiseman 3, Cole Anthony 4, Nico Mannion, and RJ Hampton at number 5. We're gonna split those two. Although RJ Hampton's not gonna show up in the draft, we're gonna split those two. I want to talk about Anthony Edwards, all right? This guy at the Maui Invitational, when I mean he was balling, bro, like he was balling. He almost scored close to 80 points in 3 games. And the knock on Anthony Edwards was that, his shooting, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't, like I want to see him shoot the ball at a high rate. Yo, listen, he showed that he has the range and that he's able to handle the ball at a high rate. So he kind of, to me, like he kind of was showing like flashes of a potential NBA All-Star. I'm talking Bradley Beal type of style of play where like it's the combo guard, you know what I'm saying? They can both manage the 1 and the 2. LaMelo is not that far off because he's had 2 triple-doubles in the last couple games and he's played against formidable opponents. He's played against RJ Hampton, who was a potential lottery pick, and he did it against, Andrew Bogut, who's a quintessential, he's an NBA champion and a former #1 overall pick. I got James Wiseman at 3 just because of the whole project factor. He's a 7'1" center. He has the touch and the range to where he could be a modern day big, kind of like a Jaren Jackson Jr. type guy where he's going to spread the floor out. So it's kind of interesting to see what he does in the NBA and how he's going to improve. He's going to come back in January after his suspension. So we're going to see him in tournament time and how he plays out. Now we got Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony took a little fell down just because of his injury that he suffered in the Bahamas, but he played pretty well. And the knock on him was his defense, but he showed that he could play defense. He had a couple key blocks in the game against Oregon, so it shows that he's willing to get down and dirty on the defensive end. And I got Nico Mannion and RJ Hampton split at number 5 just because of the whole project factor, along with James Wiseman. You have 2 point guards who are able to run the system, run the high pick and roll, but also, make plays for their teammates. And, it's kind of interesting to see how they develop in the NBA because I feel like the offensive game, they'll polish it for both those guys in the NBA. So it's kind of interesting to see like how they will, fare out so far in their seasons. But I'm excited for Anthony Edwards just because I think he's going to be the #1 overall pick. Personally, if Georgia has a decent run to the NCAA tournament, and he puts up big numbers individually, so that's the key factor in all of this.
That has been your college basketball update with Jay Billis. What happened to that boy?
Shout out Young G.
Hey, if you watch, it's Cyber Monday, so if you watch this, 30% off on nothing. Hey, it's your boy J Bobby.
It's your boy Rios.
And J Bobby and Rios ain't nothing to fuck with. Overtime.
Yeah, I'm Jake Bobby.
And I'm Rios.
And you liked that, didn't you?
For more videos and more content, please check him out over here.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Ooh.
Holla.